Will Covered California survive a second Trump administration? Yes, I believe they will. Hello, I am Kevin Canals with InsureMeKevin.com. I'm an independent health insurance agent and a certified Covered California insurance agent. And I have been working in health insurance since 2011. Started enrolling people into Covered California in 2013 for the 2014 plan year. Still doing it today. So I have seen all the ups and downs of the Affordable Care Act, and I have seen Covered California and the state of California respond to some of those challenges during the first Trump administration. And through all of that, Covered California has a firm foundation to move forward with whatever comes down the road from the federal government, whether they scrap the Affordable Care Act or completely rearrange it. So a quick primer, Covered California is the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, marketplace exchange for health insurance for individuals, families, and small groups so that they can participate in it. And that was set up by the Affordable Care Act. Some states use healthcare.gov. In California, we created our own marketplace exchange where people can go and compare plans for health insurance. So the main goal of Covered California, it's very narrow actually, is they determine from when you apply, they determine if the applicant is eligible to participate in the marketplace exchange. You know, there's got to be lawful permanent residence. If you're married, you have to say you're going to be married, filing your tax return jointly. You have to have enough money. So there's all these conditions to participate. So that's the big thing, the application. And that's what Covered California does. Once they've determined that you and your family are eligible, and it's once you hit the submit, it's within a minute. Then they take your income and they run it through a calculation and determine what your monthly subsidy will be based on that estimated income. You pick a plan, and then Covered California just sends the subsidy to your selected health plan. And then at the end of the year, Covered California sends you a 1095 tax document. That is really the essence of Covered California. Okay, is to distribute the subsidies to make your health insurance, if you're in the individual and family market, affordable. Now, here's some things that some people don't know, which really gives Covered California a lot of strength. First, Covered California receives no state money, no taxpayer money. So nothing is coming out of the general fund. Covered California receives no federal money to operate. There's obviously federal money that goes through for the subsidies, but not for their operations. They are an independent state agency. And remember, if you look at the URL, it's coveredca.com. It's a commercial enterprise. Okay, it's not a nonprofit. And they are funded by the health plan participation fees. That's what they like to call them, participation fees. Commission, you could call it, but so the operating revenue for Covered California does not come from the taxpayers. Right now, it is 2.25% fee on individual and family, that's the IFP, health and dental plans. And that was at 3.25%. And for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, they've actually lowered it because I guess they're not trying to be greedy and they're doing okay. So they're able to lower the participation fee. For the small groups and the health plans participating in the small group market, it's a 5.2% fee. And how many people are enrolled in Covered California to generate enough money? Well, for the individuals and families, there are 1.7 million individuals enrolled in Covered California health plans. And that is of approximately November 2024. And in the dental plans, about 300,000 Californians, primarily adults, enrolled in those family dental plans. In the small group market, Covered California has a Covered California small business, and the small businesses can get some of the subsidies. There's about 77,000 employees in those small group plans. Now, the following information comes from the Covered California 2024-2025 fiscal year budget. And with the state, their budget years go from July 1 through June 30th. That's why it kind of spans that. And from their operating revenue, you can see the individual market, individual and family plans with those dental plan participation fees is generating $377 million to Covered California. The Covered California small business, the small group at market, $33 million. So you can see the total operating revenue, and they have some other sources, but that's the sole source. That's the majority of their income to run their operations is coming from those participation fees from the individual and family market. Here's a pie chart of their budget expenditures. We can see they're going to be spending about 12% of that revenue on administration, plan management about 7%. Marketing and outreach, that's pretty important. 25% of the budget is going, the ads you may see on TV, social media, just trying to connect with people and let them know that they're there and they can get health insurance from them, reaching out to different demographic groups. Customer Service Center, 29%. Those are the people that, answer the phones at Covered California to help people enroll. I have a particular agent service center that I call to work with different issues. So a large amount of money, as it should be, close to a third of their budget on customer service. I'd like to see that, customer service. And then on technology, 26%. Because for Covered California, this is pretty much all done online. This is all software behind the scenes, not a lot of paper going on, and so it needs to be secure, and they're always updating their CalHere's enrollment software. And if you get into the budget, you'll see that, Covered California is preparing for the future. Now, this budget was prepared before Trump was elected. But one thing that I noticed, technology, they are, hiring 2 more positions, $213,000. But there it says, looking at artificial intelligence within Covered California. And they've already implemented some artificial intelligence on the income attestation side when people are attesting to their income. So they are looking at becoming efficient and reducing their costs with artificial intelligence. And of course, information security has always been high, and so they're going to be beefing that up. And I have to go through a lot of training and, always changing the password and multi-factor authentication. They're really focused on security, and I've never ever heard of any data breach at Covered California. Now, one thing that people aren't really know about that Covered California gets deeply involved with is the plan management. So Covered California works with the different carriers, the different health insurance companies, to kind of develop the plans, make sure they meet the federal standards in order to be eligible for the subsidy, and they meet Covered California laws, because each state regulates its health insurance, and so we have slightly different laws that the health plans have to meet. So they work with them, make sure that it's going to work and get the actuarial value for the bronze, the silver, the gold, the platinum plan, and they're all different carriers are on the same wavelength with doing that. So there's a lot of work that goes into that and coordinating all of the health plans to say, yes, this is what a silver 73 is going to look like. We all agree to it. And the manifestation of that is when you go to the shop and compare tool, and all of those plans in your zip code are presented to you with which networks, with the doctor and the hospital, and if they're in network or not. So, Covered California has to make sure that they're getting the information from the health plans about the doctors and the hospitals, so they can then display that to the consumer. The Covered California Shop and Compare tool is great. Even if I have a client that isn't going to get any subsidies and I'm not going to take them through Covered California, that's my first stop. because it tells me which carriers are in that zip code, that are offering plans in the zip code, and kind of a quick look at the doctors in the hospitals, so we can start narrowing it down. No, the Shop and Compare tool is absolutely excellent, and Covered California has put a lot of time in getting that to work properly. Another initiative of Covered California is trying to improve the overall quality of the health and the services that are delivered to the members. So they have some different quality initiatives, just checking on, making sure the health plans are reaching out about blood pressure screening and blood pressure medication and a lot of the little maintenance stuff. And those health plans that do well will get a little extra bump from Covered California. Up to 4%, and they do that with Medicare. They do that with the star ratings. So if a plan does well, maybe their participation fee is going to be lower, or there's a rebate or something. But anyhow, it's to help keep Californians healthy. Covered California is very involved in this. Now, this curve here of the enrollment, 2025, 1.7 million. Of course, this budget was done before Trump was elected. So 2026, who knows? Who knows what the federal government is going to do and what those numbers will look like. Now, they did notice here that the enhanced federal subsidies end at the end of 2025, so they don't even really know. Hopefully something's going to happen. I think there will be subsidized health plans, but we just don't know what they're going to look like and all the different conditions. California is dedicated to providing affordable health insurance. Back in 2017, 2018, California offered additional subsidies to higher income families and individuals. So back then, any income over 400% of the federal poverty level did not get a subsidy. It was just a cliff, zero. But in California, 500 or 600% of the federal poverty level is just kind of middle class. It's nothing special. And people needed some additional help, and California stepped in and got some money in there for the subsidies, and Covered California figured out how to put it into the system so those people got not only the federal ACA subsidy, but also the California premium tax credit. So that was big. Now, that went away in 2021 after Biden was elected and the American Rescue Plan was passed, and the federal subsidies went up. So California didn't need to provide that California premium assistance any longer. But that shows you the level of interest and dedication California has for making health insurance affordable in the state, and how Covered California can figure out how to implement it within, the laws that are passed by the legislature and signed by the governor. So that's why I say Covered California has a solid future. Regardless of what happens with the Affordable Care Act. They're an independent agency and they're running their own budget. They're generating their own revenue. That may change depending on how the health plans and the Affordable Care Act changes, but they know how to do it. They're not receiving taxpayer money, so that allows them to be a little bit more flexible. They don't have as many rules they have to kind of follow. They have a 10-year track record of really doing a pretty good job. Oh, sure, they've had their ups and downs. They've had some major, but for the most part, people who went into Covered California got their subsidies, and it reduced their health insurance, and they got their health care, and they were able to afford it. They were able to afford the health care and the insurance. And of course, California is dedicated to making affordable health insurance available to all its residents. So it's almost, no matter what they do at the federal level, I think California and Covered California will step up to the plate and they'll figure something out. It may not be exactly as what we're looking at today, but I believe Covered California will survive Donald Trump and his second presidency. So if you have any questions or comments, you may leave those down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, for insuremekevin.com, I'm Kevin Canals.